Whoa, yo, what's up? How you doing, freedom seekers? It's Monday morning, and that means it's time for another episode of Coffee and Cash. Y'all, we are here at Affiliate Summit West, right? One of the biggest affiliate events in the world. It's been amazing, and I have a special guest with us. This is John Sanders. What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me, man.
Guys, we've got an expert here that's talking some e-com, so I know you're gonna wanna stay tuned till the end. But before we get there, I wanna talk about two big offers that you should be looking at, right? Both of these offers are gonna be in the make money sort of online biz op space. They're killing it. They're from the same vendor. And this dude is a expert webinar host, so he gets great conversions. First offer of his that we're going to talk about is the 301k challenge, right?
Tell me more.
301. So Igor does this great job of he creates what he calls a paint by numbers, follow along, quick start training that really quick in just a couple of months. I think it's like this idea that 30-day challenge. Let's get your first online business up and running. And
Sweet.
He really has done it all. He's done it multiple times. He's created multiple online businesses. So he's giving you the exact same process and he walks you through it. Day by day, you do the challenge. Some of the numbers that we're seeing, right? Price average, $767.
Hey, nice.
It's great, right? You can buy a couple of pizzas for that, right? Right. After that, we have a 40% commission on it. So it's getting great numbers. Average affiliate per sale earns $311, right? Buy yourself a new pair of shoes. Average cart visitor, $18, right? So if you're good at, if you can get people in the seats, Igor can close them. Great offer. Next offer that we've got, the e-farming challenge, right? E-farming. So it's a cool name. It's what he sort of calls about building a list, right? It's this perspective of is you're almost like a farmer and you have to cultivate and grow a valuable email list. And what we know, like Russell Brunson, right? The OG.
Yep, the OG.
He always talks about, right? He always talks about you have to own the email list, right?
Yep.
You have to have an email list because you never know what's going to happen with Zuckerberg, right? This guy's always constantly changing things. TikTok's owned by China. Who knows? Right? The Communist Party could change, right? We don't know. And so if you have an email list, it's the only thing you can have control on. So in this offer, Igor sort of works. Price point, $775. He's giving away, again, 40%. This one sees $314, what the average affiliate's earning. Same idea, about $18 per cart visitor. Cart conversion, 6%. Nice. So it's good. I mean, it's a solid offer, so you gotta check it out. The third offer that I wanted to talk about, actually, guys, is Quadra. And Quadra is John's offer. So first, he's gonna do a shameless plug, and he's gonna talk about his offer. And then we're actually gonna talk about John and sort of his expertise and maybe teach you something. Cool?
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, so our offer is I've been doing print on demand full time for 8 years now. It's been a long time. And so over that time, I've done 7 figures in sales selling print on demand and dropship products. And so what I've done is I've combined all my experience, what's worked for me over the years, and it's all relevant too. That's the other thing I really like, because this industry changes so quickly.
Super quick.
And so, I've put it all together into this course called Quadra Pro, where we walk people through from setting up a Shopify store all the way to how to create great designs to traffic. And so it's from A to Z, everything that you need. And so the way our funnel works is we have an auto webinar. Okay. And you know this, it's a new offer on Digistore. Yeah. We just started, but we've been media buying our own traffic and we've had amazing results. We have a 40% show up rate on our auto webinar, which is, I think good. It's really good. Yeah. If I do say so myself, right? Then 15% conversions front end. And so on a $300 product, and we will be raising the price on this, but we launched in the marketplace at $300 to test it out, and it's getting really great conversions at that rate. So we're really super excited to partner with Digistore on this, and hopefully get a lot of people that have people on their lists that either are into e-commerce or want to start an online business, especially right now with the recession. A lot of people getting laid off. It's like the perfect time. People are looking for opportunities. Right.
It's an industry. Dropshipping is super low barrier of entry, low cost. So when somebody's saying, I've got to make extra money, how am I going to make this extra money?
Exactly.
This idea of being your own brand, which is cool. Plus the low barrier of entry, plus like you don't have to have stock. It is really like a lot of people are intrigued by it. So it's a great time to push.
Oh, dude, exactly. Well, and that's kind of my story. Maybe we'll get into it. It's just, and that's kind of my passion, the drive behind this is the last recession, I was looking for something because I had been laid off.
Okay. Tell us, let's just jump into it.
Do you want to jump into it?
Tell
Yeah. And so I started internet marketing back in 2000, actually started, right? We all know Frank Kern.
Yeah.
He had an offer back then doing some PPC on Google. Okay. And I got really intrigued by it. It was one of those things where just, I want to say it kind of like broke my brain. It's like, this is what I want to do. And so I'd gotten married and, just kind of got into the corporate life, right? And then in 2008, 2009, the recession hit, and this was the real estate one. Yeah. And I was actually selling software to the home building industry, so it wasn't the greatest of timing, right? Course, yeah. And so what happened was I got laid off, and I'm like, well, I've been doing SEO. I don't know if you remember the Warrior Forum and all that stuff back in the day. Yeah, this is kind of old school. And so I'd been studying. I'm like, well, it's now or never, right? And so I was like, well, maybe I'll start doing consulting, help people with SEO. My brilliant idea was to help home builders. I don't know what I was thinking, but I guess I did. I was like, well, they need to sell homes. It's a recession. Maybe I can help them. So I did that for about a year where I was just grinding, trying to get clients. I'd never run an agency or anything like that. I didn't know what I was doing, but I do give myself credit for at least going out there and trying.
That's one of the things that I love the most about like internet businesses. Is like, I feel like 90% of people's story is like, I had no idea what I was doing. I just sort of like jumped in and tried this and screwed up a bunch, and then it worked out.
Exactly. And so, so I was working that, and then it got bad, man. Like I was, I actually kind of tell the story in our webinar, and I think that's why it kind of grips people, is that, it got to the point where I was about to lose my house, about to lose my cars. I was in a really bad situation. And so I actually went and started delivering pizzas just to make ends meet. And I just remember feeling so like dejected and embarrassed. Like here, I had friends that had really great corporate jobs and like killing it. And I was literally like in a Pizza Hut uniform, like delivering pizzas, praying that like my neighbors wouldn't like order. Dude, it was like one of the worst times of my life. Yeah. But looking back now, kind of full circle with Quadra and what I've built, it's like I'm so grateful and so appreciative of that pizza guy, because he did what he had to do to make ends meet. Like I get emotional talking about it because with this recession coming, I know what that feels like to lose your job. And so I'm so motivated now to get Quadra out there so that people can have an opportunity. I wish the guy back then could have had this opportunity. I didn't know what I was doing. I just jumped into like SEO and agency stuff. Had I had a blueprint like this that is, works and can make money, I think things would have been better. So anyway, I say all that to say that pizza guy that I was now, even though I hated it during that time, is actually my motivation for what Quadra is.
Like this is like a really, like this is the type of stuff when you're trying to push a VSL or a TSL or a product. Yeah. Right. A lot of the biz ops stuff are these young 20-something guys that just like were screwing around and like didn't want to work. Yeah. And so they did it, and all of a sudden they become super successful. And then they say, well, I'm super successful, and they flash bling and they flash this stuff, and then they try to show other guys. And I think the desire to be rich is strong. Like that's a good selling point. But this sort of like an emotional angle, like even deeper to dive into like this emotion is something that can sell way more powerfully. So that's probably one of the reasons you're getting great numbers right now.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, that's not my, I know what you're saying, totally. It's not like I was like, well, I'm going to tell this really sad story about my life. But, and I try to, company-wide, I try to tell people to be authentic. That's kind of one of our things that we really push in our company. I'm just trying to be authentic and just tell my story. And hopefully, more than anything, I think, just to your point, people see some of these guys making all this money and gurus, the Lamborghinis, and they don't connect with a real person that's actually been through some struggles. And so, it's definitely connected with people like, and our auto webinar is not to talk too much about our offer, but it's like 2 hours long, and about 15 minutes of that is just the story. But I feel like it's super important because people do connect with that. They feel the humanity, I guess, and someone that has been down that struggle. And a lot of people are struggling right now, and so I think the timing is perfect. Like I said, I'm super motivated to get my message out there. That's my motivation. It isn't money. It's not purely. I mean, obviously, we all want to make money. I like money. But at the end of the day, the fulfillment comes from helping other people. And the timing, unfortunately, I guess, is kind of perfect for that. And so our mission at Quadra is, our mission statement is to help people monetize their creativity. And so if you're the kind of person that wants to join that kind of mission, not just sell, I don't want to say soulless affiliate offer, but
there's a couple of those out there. There's a couple.
But if you want to join a community and bring people into an offer that's actually going to benefit them, then we'd love to have you look at Quadra.
So tell me more about, like, I know because you have Quadra Pro, which is like the let me teach you how to do it. You also have, is it the Quadra Market? Is that what it?
So it's important. That's good. So the way, just a little bit of background. So I was a print on demand seller, selling on other platforms, and so I saw an opportunity where, on a lot of these platforms, there's not a whole lot of unique products, and I was trying to find unique products as a seller. I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if I could connect sellers like me with product or manufacturers that have really cool products, smaller manufacturers that, people that have laser engravers. And so that's when the idea for Quadra sparked. And so what we do on the app side of Quadra is we connect manufacturers with sellers. We're like the Uber of manufacturing. We don't own any manufacturing, we just connect it. Yeah. And so that's the Quadra marketplace, is our software. Quadra Pro is our training, and also gives you access to membership, so you get preferred pricing on products as well. I should mention that. And so so you can use the Quadra marketplace for free, or you can join Quadra Pro where you get the training and also better pricing. Because that's another thing that's needed out in the marketplace with print on demand. If any of your people do it, it's the margins can be pretty slim. And so as a seller, that's the other thing too, is I'm coming from a seller's perspective, not a manufacturer. Like what serves the seller? What serves the seller is better margins, better products. And so that's my MO with it, is to get the best products, unique products at the best prices worldwide. And so we're creating a movement where, you'll be able to sell into Brazil. We've talked about this, or other places in the world without having to have any kind of manufacturing there. And so, like you mentioned earlier, without having to have inventory, it's low barrier of entry. Anyone can do that. And the cool thing with Quadra Pro is we actually teach you how to do it. You're leveraging like 8 years experience of me going through everything that I had to learn. You can literally just learn from me. So
tell me this right now. So we see, like, drop shipping it was uber popular right now. I was talking yesterday to a guy who's just like, all he does for work is he sets up like Shopify accounts and these drop shipping systems for rich dudes who are just like, I want to see if I can make money doing this. And that's what he does. A lot of people are getting into it. What are some, like, maybe trends you're seeing now, or mistakes even, like common mistakes you feel like the average person does when they're like trying to get into drop shipping?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the biggest mistake, there's several, but I think the biggest mistake is because these platforms have made it so easy, the barrier of entry is so low, people don't really put the effort to actually making it into a business. It's just kind of a hobby, or they try to make a quick buck with drop shipping, and so they don't give it they don't take it seriously. I don't know if that makes sense.
I think
it's probably a lot with the affiliate world too.
It is very much where, like, so this happens with affiliates all the time, where it's, okay, here, somebody on Instagram says you can make all this money. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna sign up. There's zero barrier of entry. I'm gonna grab a link. I'm gonna send it out. And it's sort of like, well, if I start making big money, then I will make this an actual thing. And so it's not a true like desire to actually, if I make it rich quick, go. Whereas, like, your story personally, right, is you had to make it work. You were in a situation where it's like, you had decided it wasn't I'm just gonna try this and see if it hits.
No, exactly. And so, because, just to your point, and so people will try drop shipping, right, and it won't work, or, people say, oh, drop shipping's dead because, whatever reason. The reality is, drop shipping print on demand isn't a business. It's just the logistics of getting products to people. The business is still the business. You still have to create a brand. Dropshipping print on demand is just, your end customer doesn't care that it was shipped from not one of your warehouse. It doesn't matter. They don't care. So people conflate like the logistics of dropshipping and print on demand with the business of running an e-com store. Print on demand dropshipping is just a strategy for getting people product. It's a very effective strategy. And so it's unfair to say like it's, I don't know, scam. I hate even using the word. People that aren't in this space do drop shipping. It's just not scammy. It's just a logistical means to get product to your customer. It's up to you to form the brand, to make sure that you treat it as a business. Mm-hmm. So that's mistake number one. The other thing, I don't know, I forgot the second part of your question, maybe where things are going.
Yeah.
The way things are moving on print on demand and the way that you're really going to get good with print on demand and set yourself apart is to add personalization and customization. That's always going to be something that sets you apart, especially from like the Amazons, kind of the big players in the space, is they don't really do personalization well. And so if you, for instance, we sell a sign every Mother's Day. I still do it. That's the other thing. I'm an e-com seller still. I don't just run my platform.
I think that's super telling. There's like a lot of dudes who are like, I make so much money doing this, and now I'm going to teach you how to do it. And it's sort of like, well, if you were actually making that much money,
exactly,
why aren't you still doing it?
Yeah, and so I still do it, because I love it, but I also want to stay relevant, you know? Obviously, building a platform takes time, and a lot of my focus is there, but just back to my point, every Mother's Day, we have a Mother's Day sign, and I'll just tell you what it is. It says, "You're the mom everyone wishes they had," and then you can put the name of your kids there. I've literally have made millions of dollars off that concept, and it's unique every single time because it's personalized to the individual, and so that sets you apart. Like, people aren't going to go to Amazon to get that kind of thing. Amazon does a little bit of that, but that's one thing right there. That's just a tip that you can add to your mix of products that will take you to the next level.
I'm sure that lets you raise the AOV as well on the
it raises the AOV. So just to give you an example, that particular sign, when you have Quadra Pro, I believe is $6.50. We sell it for $40. And so if you're media buying, that's what I'm a Facebook media buyer, and so I still, even with all the trouble with Facebook, I still get 2-3 ROAS because A, it's a unique product, and then B, people want to buy personalized stuff. And the other thing too, I guess, is this is where branding and kind of treating it as a business comes into play. People want to buy from small business. I think, Gen Z, millennials, there's this movement to buy more from small business, boutiques, and so you have that in your favor. And so it's all the way you position it. I don't like when people, again, going back to the logistical thing, don't get stuck on the logistics of the business. Focus more on the business, what you can do to set yourself apart, and let the tools like Quadra help you streamline things. You know what I'm saying?
I think right now this is super. I don't spend much time thinking about drop shipping, right?
So I'm thinking, how come, dude?
I'm busy thinking about affiliate things,
right?
Busy thinking about. But I think that's a super interesting thing that all the time I hear people talk about. Like, it's super saturated. It's super like whatever. But the idea is that the drop shipping is not the business, right? You have to build a brand. That is a business, and that has never changed. That's from when the retail business that was brick and mortar to early online. At first, it was like this thing where it was like so new that you were the only one that you could do it, and so it was sort of cool. But the principles of business still apply.
Exactly, and so that's what's going to set you apart. And here's the good news, man, and you probably know this too, is I have a saying. Let me see if I don't butcher it, but it's not that the 1% make it. It's that only 1% of people are willing to do what it takes to be successful. And here's the good news. It doesn't take that much effort. Trust me, I work with sellers all the time. I see their stores. I see, what they're doing. And the reality is, just like you mentioned, just being committed, just doing a little bit extra puts you in that 1% to be successful. And then just going back to the offer, once you have the strategy, you start implementing it, it's going to be successful for you. It's just following the steps, being committed, treating it as a business. If you're one of those people that just gives it a try or is a dabbler like I was before I kind of jumped all in, then the chances of you being successful are pretty low. It's never the information. Well, I should say never. You do need to have good information, but for me, a lot of it is just mindset and just having that winning mindset of, hey, this is my business, not my hobby, not my side hustle. This is my business. It may start as that, but this is my business. I'm going to commit to it. I'm going to figure it out. And fortunately, because of these tools, it's pretty simple to do. You don't have to get inventory from China, do the logistics of shipping. There's all these things you have to do traditionally where we eliminate that and you just focus on your brand. So,
it's something that I'm seeing right now, a trend is, and this is for talking to people who maybe on this show, not pushing this as an affiliate offer, but maybe it's like you personally are invested in the idea of doing like an e-commerce brand as well as doing your own affiliate stuff. we roll a lot with the Powerhouse Mastermind group. That's Josh Snow and Los Silva's group. And one of the things that we see there a lot is a lot of these guys are doing this. They're building brands, and there's a lot of people aggregating right now.
Yeah.
So they take a bunch of online businesses that are making money. They pile them together, right? So they come and buy each individual brand. They put it together in one package, and then they flip it to somebody else for even more money. And these guys are all super successful at it. They're all spending time, but it's really got to build a brand, build my online business. And then there's even a thing where it's like, maybe you don't want to be doing this forever. There's also a lot of people out there buying these online brands if you can spend the time to put it in. So there's also an exit strategy where it's not a business you have to run for forever.
Dude, I'm so glad you brought that up, because it becomes an asset. You know, you set up Shopify, which, you know, our app's on Shopify. You now have an asset. I mean, that's what's so killer about this, and I'm really glad you brought that up, is you build that asset. You could turn around and exit for millions of dollars. You really could, you know. We kept our store, but we have an email list of, you know, close to 200,000 people. We have not to mention Facebook pixel data, all this stuff that's super valuable that if we wanted to, we could just flip at any moment, you know? And so, yeah, I mean, that's the beautiful thing about this is if you take the time to treat this as a business, it becomes an asset. And just one other thing too, to your point, I think, you know, obviously you're in the affiliate world, and I think it's amazing. We sell product stuff, but we also do affiliate stuff. I think everyone should be able to add products to their offers, their blogs, whatever it is, because of how automated it really is. And so I'm a firm believer that everyone should have a store out there. I know I've given your wife access to it, our employees, I get them all to do it, because I think everyone should have an extra stream of income. So
yeah, that's super cool. Well, guys, I hope that you picked up something valuable. At least if you're going to push this offer, right? You've just listened to this one more time, and there's all your hooks, your angles, everything you need to really create a compelling offer. John, thanks for rolling in.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
If you guys have any questions, remember, you can either reach out to an account manager, and if you don't have an account manager, affiliates@digistore24.com is how you can get a hold of us. Make sure you like, subscribe, share this with your friends. Every single Monday morning, we're coming at you with good offers and good info, right? Until then, remember, open minds, open hearts, open wallets.